What's up, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Dawg Check Postgame Show. I'm Matt, Raise the Wolf, and joining me is the incredible Sean. I always pronounce your last name wrong, so I'm not even going to try.
Eford. Yeah.
I always say Eford. It's always, I either get it right or I get it wrong. So, but yeah, it was a Browns game today.
Yeah, there was a Browns game, sort of.
If you want to even call it that. So let's start it off. Browns lost with a score of 3-38. And we definitely have some thoughts to share on how this game ended up turning out.
It's 6-38.
Excuse me, 6-38. I have it scrolling there. I'm just tired, man. I'm tired. Tired of losing, too.
Don't you take their 3 points away from them. They scored a touchdown in this game. A touchdown.
A single touchdown.
Solitary touchdown, yeah.
All right, so
I ain't taking it from them, man. Yeah,
you gotta it from?
At least let them have that. I mean,
all right, fair enough. But first off, I want to talk about some positives we found out in this game because let's be honest, there wasn't many of them.
No. Positives were few and far in between.
But I got 3 positives for myself. I have Jedrick Wills played pretty decent when he was on the field before his injury.
He did.
David Njoku showed up, which shocked me, and I'm shocked they didn't go to him more. And then, finally, the run game when they actually used it, which seems to be an issue that Cleveland teams have in general. How about you, Sean?
So I'm trying to grab my notes here. I thought Jedrick Wills was a boost for sure. The team didn't look tired.
Yes.
So it looked like their conditioning was okay. At least okay. I mean, and especially the way that they had to chase Lamar Jackson around the field. As he basically, NFL streeted on them for 60 minutes. They still didn't look super gassed. Everybody looked like they were in good shape. People seemed to know the playbook pretty well, actually.
Yeah, that was definitely a plus.
There wasn't like a lot of miscommunications when a spot was thrown to. It seemed like that spot was, there was a person in it. Or at least nearby. So you see the timing plays where there's where a wide receiver gets it wrong or a quarterback gets it wrong. You never really know which one of them got it wrong, but the ball is there and there's no one within 20 yards of it because it's a timing play and somebody ran the wrong route or the quarterback thought the wide receiver was supposed to run a different route. You didn't see any of that. None of it. Not a single time. And I'm very pleased to see that because that was rampant under Freddie Kitchens.
Yes, that was.
And just overall, like there weren't like a lot of pre-snap penalties other than the time
that one drive.
Yeah, other than the 3rd and 41 monstrosity. Other than that, there was no real. It didn't seem like there was any real like mental errors. There was just dudes we couldn't cover. Is what it seemed like it came down to. I mean, it just seemed like our linebackers weren't up to the task of guarding their tight ends, because the tight ends are what killed us. I mean, really, if you look at what happened,
Mark Andrews had 5 catches for 58 yards, 11.6 yards per reception, and 2 touchdowns with him alone.
Yeah,
it's just like
Snead got 1, and
that's it. Those are the 3. Those are the 3 passing touchdowns.
Yeah,
and you had 2. And you had Ohio State alum who we all screamed no as soon as the Ravens draft him. J.K. Dobbins had 7 rushes for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He had a very good. He had a good showing. He had a good showing.
Having what some would call limited snaps. Because even when he was on the field and he wasn't rushing the ball, there's that one play where he was blocking, and you're just like, oh, my God.
Yeah. I also want to point out that like the Browns did a very good job of getting a lot of players involved in the offense.
Yeah.
If you look at the number of targets, I mean these are the names of and I know this is this is gonna drag on for a minute here, but
Yeah.
the names of the people who received targets today: Landry, Njoku, Beckham, Hooper, Hodge, Higgins, Hunt, Chubb, Bryant, and Carlson. And there's uh, four tight ends in that, which is insane.
Alexander Heindel chimes in with
Yeah,
we got shitted on.
that's really accurate.
I
The
think that's
most,
getting a little too polite.
yeah, that's really accurate. I'm noticing that I noticed that Njoku caught everything that was thrown his way.
Yeah.
3 for 3, 3 targets, 3 catches.
One being a touchdown.
Beckham got targeted, got 10 targets, and only had 3 catches, which is, a lot of that wasn't his fault. He was throwing some really uncatchable balls. He did drop a couple though.
That one drop on 3 and 2 was killing. My heart broke. I was like, yo, that was a.
There's a hole in my wall that I'm gonna frame, and I'm gonna write Beckham drops 3rd and 2 as the name of the piece of art. Because it was right in his hands, and with his speed, he would have broke that for 20 yards.
He brought it. He was bringing it down, and then he took his eyes off of it and hit his hip, and you're just like, God damn it.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. But overall, their secondary was really tight. The Ravens. And our pass protection wasn't that awful, but
no, it wasn't.
Baker was under duress because of coverage. When he was hurried or when he was pressured, they were all really coverage pressures. It wasn't like our pass protection was breaking down on a regular basis, in my opinion. It happened a couple times, but it happens to every team a couple times.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
And I think we were talking about Jed's performance before he was injured. And besides a holding call, I think it was Judon get past him in that one play. Those are really the only 2 big moments I could think of for him. Because he was doing. I mean, granted, when you have Myles Garrett going at you at practice a lot of the time, it's easier to get more acclimated. But
absolutely, that's an iron sharpens iron moment.
Exactly, but when he goes down with the injury, you could see at least on that left side, the pass protection started not being as strong as it was before.
Not being as strong as putting it kindly. It collapsed. It was a complete collapse on that left side.
Yeah. And it's really sad because everyone came into this game being like, "Oh yeah, they got a shot. We got this," and then you're sitting there and you felt like you were watching last year's Browns. Albeit a team that was more disciplined and actually knew the playbook, but you still felt like you were watching last year's Browns.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was watching last year's Browns, personally. They believe it or not, I saw some key differences. They seemed less athletic somehow.
I would argue they seemed more athletic because you see how those receivers were jumping?
Well, I don't mean the receivers.
Oh.
I actually mean like at the linebacker position.
Oh yeah, that's what kind of
at the safety position, we seemed slower. We didn't have the ability to turn with their tight ends, which is embarrassing. Like we were getting beat on double moves by tight ends. That's embarrassing, and that's an athleticism issue. I mean, it's obviously a guessing wrong issue too, but we couldn't run with them, I mean, obviously our wide receivers looked healthy.
Yes.
I mean, they looked like they were the way that they were supposed to be as far as athleticism. But I mean, on defense, we looked significantly less athletic, other than up front. Our front 4 was, as advertised. We were getting pressure. We were getting, unfortunately, we were over pursuing often, and the pocket was breaking down because of it. leaving open lanes down the middle for Lamar Jackson to just take off. I mean, he was their leading rusher, I believe. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
So that's definitely a failure. They unfortunately we weren't getting a push. We weren't getting a push up the center. We were getting a push on both sides, and they were able to open up giant gaping holes in the middle of the line that Lamar Jackson was able to just kind of charge through time after time. But yeah, on defense we looked less athletic to me.
Yeah, no,
significantly less athletic.
And you got to wonder if that may change when we get Mac Wilson back, whenever that may be, because Mac, even as a rookie last year, he stepped up in a big way. And let's be honest, we're not looking at what our defense is supposed to look like. We're missing what we're supposed to be 3 starters, and
yeah,
Delpit, Mac Wilson, and Greedy Williams, like.
Yeah, and arguably 3 of our more athletic players too.
Exactly.
So I mean, especially Greedy and especially Delpit.
Yeah,
I mean, those dudes can move. But 3 players does not a defense make.
No.
And we looked like we were missing more than 3. We looked like we were more than 3 players away today on defense. We looked like we were about 6 players away on defense.
Well, I'm curious to see if that Ronnie Harrison move we pulled off right before cut down is going to end up playing a factor. He only played about 3 snaps today. So I'm hoping, because I remember you and I were talking after that trade was made, and we're like, you know what, that good trade, it's a 5th rounder, position of need, guys got some value. Let's see what can happen. And I think once he gets more acclimated, we'll get more of him involved.
Yeah, it just seemed like nothing really happened, unfortunately. Like we didn't use him at all. So I mean, 3 plays, but get 3 plays as a blip on the radar. That's nothing.
Right. So it's one of those things you got to hope for the best and hope that they turn it around before Thursday, because Thursday is what everyone predicted to be our winning game, the game that we're going to come out to and just kill it. And I mean, right now, if you want to, let's take a look at the score for for the Chargers and Cincy. Joe Burrow is looking like an average quarterback with 9 completed passes of 14 for 51 yards.
Yeah, if we lose to Cincinnati, I'm calling it, dude. I'm calling it. If we lose to Cincinnati, it's a tanking season.
I hope not, because that'd be.
If we lose to Cincinnati, that's it. If we lose to Cincinnati, that is it, sir. That's. If we lose to Cincinnati, I bench Baker. Yep. You can't lose to Cincinnati, Baker. Sorry, you can't. You literally. You literally can't. You can't lose Cincinnati.
I was talking to my other buddy Sean, who will be on here, so that'll be interesting whenever he gets a chance to. And we were already having a conversation about, if Baker keeps playing like this, how long do you think people start calling until drafting a quarterback this year? And his prediction was week 3 if he keeps playing like this.
Yeah. Actually, I'll admit, one of my first searches after the game was Trevor Lawrence. That was literally one of my first Google searches was Trevor Lawrence.
Mine was Justin Fields, because I feel like we have the talent to still play well enough that we won't be in the Trevor Lawrence range, but we'll still be in Justin Fields range.
Well,
which, by the way, Big Ten football coming back October 17th. Woohoo!
Oh, really? I didn't see that announcement.
I thought somebody was talking about it earlier, so hey.
Excellent. Now, I like Justin Fields, but my thing is that, like I said, I mean, if you're going to be bad enough to get Fields, then you just tank for Lawrence. That's I mean, because Because Fields is still going to be a top 5 guy.
You're saying top 10 because
top 10?
Because there are so many other teams that have other needs, because you have all these other teams who have QBs that want to develop.
Yeah, okay. I'll buy it. I'll buy it, but I don't buy it because you move up for a quarterback. If you have other needs, you trade back with somebody who's willing to give you a king's ransom for that number 2, number 3, number 4 spot.
But Fields is only considered the third best quarterback in this upcoming draft. There's that kid from North Dakota State.
I forgot about him. Yeah, so I forgot about him.
It's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, he might drop into the 8, 9, 10 spot maybe. I mean, this isn't like a super crazy quarterback draft, but like I said, I mean, if you're a lottery team, I won't say lottery, but you get what I'm saying. Like if you're a team that's bad enough that you're picking high, just pick first. I mean, I'm serious. Like, shut it down, bench your starters, and get T-Dawg in here. I saw I think it was 3 passes get batted down.
4.
That happens. 4. That happens when you're 6 foot tall. It doesn't happen when you're 6'6".
Yep. I mean, granted, it was basically Calais Campbell every single time. But
Calais Campbell was 2 of them.
I saw 3 of the 4 being him.
The official stats read 2.
Okay.
But I mean, it's definitely possible that he got another one that was misrecording. I'm not going to quibble over one batted down pass.
But I agree with you. You have a quarterback who's 6 feet tall, and it's just like,
Yep. And Trevor Lawrence has the full arsenal. He has all of it. All of it. And if you're down that road, if you're down the road of a top 10 pick, and I hate that we're talking draft out of the first game. I hate that we're talking draft. We need to get off this.
Yeah. But let's talk former draft, because you got to look at it this way. How did the Bills? You look at the Bills. They won 27-17. Josh Allen. Pulling up the stats right now. Josh Allen. 33 completions out of 46 attempts for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns. No interceptions.
That's big time numbers right there. I can't argue it. I mean, I'll be the first to admit I was anti him.
Yeah.
We both were. Yeah. I did not want another inaccurate, big arm, big body quarterback. When you tell me, oh, he's got the strongest arm ever, but he's inaccurate, you know who I think of? I think of Jamarcus Russell.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I think of. And as soon as you give me Jamarcus Russell vibes, I'm out. I'm all the way out. If you got accuracy problems, sorry, accuracy doesn't get taught very well. You're either accurate or you're not.
And that was one of the knocks against Lamar coming out also. So it's just like...
it was more arm strength.
Fair enough.
And he's not tall. He's not short, but he isn't tall. Is he 6'3"?
He's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, he's not tall. He's not the 6'4" prototypical drop back passer. He's not that. He doesn't have the body for that. I mean, he's slight. Yeah. He's skinny.
I'm sitting here. I'm afraid one day we're just going to see the Teddy Bridgewater thing happen with him, where he just gets tackled the wrong way and.
Oh, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah.
I'm not wishing that on him. I love watching Lamar Jackson play, which is not against my team, right? I love watching Lamar Jackson play. I'm not wishing it on him at all, but it's not if, it's when. When you're that small, you don't absorb punishment well. I'm sure that by midseason he's playing with broken ribs, every season, because he just doesn't have the body to absorb that punishment. And sorry, I've worn pads before. If you put on pads, they don't drop low enough to protect the lower part of your rib cage.
Right here.
They stop right up. Yep. And I'm sorry, ribs stop down here, which is like
right at your diaphragm, basically.
Yep. And the lip where the pads end, that can get hammered in to your rib cage too. They can actually cause an injury there sometimes. So
All right, well,
Yeah,
I know we got a little off track, but let's talk about some of the stuff that disappointed us, man. Because there's a lot to go on here. Like I feel like there's a laundry list of things.
there is.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, so obviously, getting into the end zone once is a huge disappointment. Everybody seemed out of sync. All the timing seemed off. It seemed like everybody knew where they were supposed to be, but they got there at the wrong time. It seemed like because there was so few live snaps, like real snaps, there wasn't the timing and the chemistry hasn't developed with a lot of the receivers, and it's weird because he had these guys last year, but they were playing injured last year, so they move differently this year. They're faster this year, so the passes are all behind them now. I don't know if you noticed that even the ball that we both were very angry about with Beckham,
Yeah,
the
it was
pass was
behind.
behind him. It was behind him. He was running faster than the ball. I mean, he wasn't actually running faster than the ball, but he was here and the ball was back here. So
That's why you had that turn and bring it in.
yeah, I mean, I agree, but I'm saying that he's not hitting people in stride because the speed difference is
and I'm
the
agreeing.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that you're just like,
it's subtle too, right?
Yeah,
It's subtle.
it's subtle.
You can
But,
see it and it matters.
I feel like I didn't get. I saw more of Daryl Hodge today than I did Hollywood Higgins, and I just Daryl Hodge was the one out who was out there, and I'm like, what is he doing out there? He couldn't seem to get his hand on anything, or he gave up partway through. Because there's the interception, if I remember correctly, that was to him, and it seemed like he had his arms out there, and then he brought him back because like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire, man. There's a reason Hollywood's not getting on the field, and I don't know what it is, and I would really like to know what it is.
Yeah.
Like why? Like it's been 3 different regimes right now have not used Hollywood Higgins, and we see the talent. Like he flashes.
We saw him in that last year, the Greg Williams, Hugh Jack.
Yeah.
We saw him get targets there. He was finally getting his burn.
We did, but we still didn't see him as much as we thought we should. Remember, we were calling for more of him.
Yeah.
And then last year, we didn't see him hardly at all. And now this year, we're starting out with not really seeing the dude.
Especially
why is that?
And he's one of Baker's favorite targets. So that's the thing.
We think.
The stats show that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, the stats show that. But, I mean, if you're getting 2 targets a game, but you're getting 2 targets a game on being on the field for 3 snaps, that doesn't necessarily, to me, indicate that he's a favorite target. To me, it might indicate some design plays. Maybe the ball's supposed to go to him in that route. Maybe he's, route A.
Fair enough.
And he's, he sees that first read, and that first read is a good read, so he takes it. To me, if he was genuinely one of Baker Mayfield's favorite targets, why do we not see him out there in some of the 2 wide receiver sets instead of Beckham, who's dropping 70% of the passes thrown his way?
True.
I mean, I'm not harping on Beckham either. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying. I
understand where you're coming from. It's like if he's one of his favorite targets, he would be on the field more.
I believe he would make it on the field more, and I want to know why. I do. I want to know why. Another person that I believe earns some, and I know your immediate reaction to this is going to be, what the heck are you talking about? Myles Garrett was inconsistent today.
No, I'll say the same thing. You saw him get back there, but he wasn't able to finish the. He'd be like right on Lamar, and he'd be like a split second too late.
I don't even mean that, man. It seemed like there was variable effort.
Oh, see, I didn't.
To me, it looked like he was really charging, like maybe half the snaps. because he disappeared. He disappeared a lot.
And
when he was noticed, he was there.
Yeah.
Getting a pressure, but otherwise you didn't see him at all. Maybe that was due to double teams. I have to rewatch it to really know. But I know that there was a large part of the game where I just didn't notice Myles Garrett.
Okay, yeah, like I can.
That's why I say variable effort. I'm not saying that that's necessarily the case. Like I said, I have to rewatch it. These are snap judgments. The game was 2 hours ago. I obviously have not had time to rewatch anything.
Right.
However, when you're getting pressure or we don't see you at all, I have to wonder if you're taking some plays off.
It's fair. It's fair. I think someone I forgot to give a little bit of props to is Jarvis, because for someone they're like trying to take their time with him coming back from this injury and everything. He only missed one pass, caught everything else.
Jarvis is a baller, man.
Jarvis is Jarvis. Like
Jarvis is a baller. I love Jarvis. Jarvis is a baller. If you told me I can keep one wide receiver on this team, it's Jarvis.
Yeah, and that's something I'm curious about, because a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to have to cut Jarvis or Odell or get one of their contracts in the next year or so probably. I'm like, I would choose Jarvis over Odell in that case, because Jarvis has produced consistently every year that he's been here.
No question. Give me Jarvis. Give me Jarvis, because, Jarvis is very clear. Jarvis is willing to go do the grit stuff. Mm-hmm. Jarvis is willing to go do the Edelman stuff. Beat a double team and catch a 3-yard pass, knowing he's going to get cracked. That's the Jarvis thing, and that's what a lot of wide receivers don't want to do. They want to run fly routes. They want to run, they want to run the safe routes where they can get a big chunk of yards, but sometimes you need a possession receiver. You need that third down receiver. That's the most valuable receiver on your team.
And the receiver that's a couple of those for today.
The receiver that when you need 7, he'll get you 8. He'll get you exactly what you need. Jarvis. Give me Jarvis. Give me that guy. That guy's the safety blanket. That's the guy that makes your quarterback look good. That's the guy that will get open when nobody else can. Double teams, and it's because he's a very, very precise route runner, and he's tough.
Yeah. You always got to look back to that when we were on Hard Knocks, and he had that speech. That, to me, that always spoke to the type of player he was, because it's not like he is saying it and not providing it on the field.
No.
He's saying it and backing it up.
Right. You can tell he does, like Jarvis, you can tell he doesn't like to talk. Like, he would rather show you. Exactly. He'll talk when he has to. He'll talk if he feels like that's a role that needs filling. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants to just play and let his play speak for itself. And I like that. I like Jarvis. Give me Jarvis over anybody on the team as far as wide receivers go. As far as pass catchers go, as a matter of fact,
as far as playmakers go, in all honesty.
Yeah. You know what? Give me Jarvis and give me Bryant. Give me Harrison Bryant.
Now, since
the way that dude practices, I mean, just he didn't make a big dent this game. He had 2 targets. He had 1 catch.
Mm-hmm.
But I was watching him when he was on the field, and
he plays hard,
dude. His effort is that dude's gonna be a player. I'm telling you right now, like that dude is gonna be TE1
by the end of at some point in his career. Yeah, and I remember watching the draft and them even saying, like, yeah, he has that tight end 1 potential. The Browns may have gotten a steal here.
Yeah,
it's just
like he's gonna and no disrespect to Njoku. Njoku was great today. He's gonna push Njoku up out his spot.
He already did. Bryant's number 2 on the depth chart.
Technically, yes, but Njoku still saw the field more than him. Njoku saw more passes than him.
Fair.
he's going to push Njoku up out that spot. Njoku is more athletic than him. Njoku has, physical tools galore, way beyond what Bryant has. But Bryant has that dog in him. And you give me a group of those dudes. Those dudes are the dudes that win you the Super Bowl. Not height, weight, speed dudes. Like I said, I had an argument the other day or a couple weeks ago about whether or not Edelman is for sure a Hall of Famer. He's absolutely a Hall of Famer. It's not even disputable, and he is the biggest example of not a height, weight, speed guy.
Caught one pass in college, and now he's about 600 in his career.
Yeah, the cat just gets open because he outworks everybody else, and he doesn't drop anything. And Bryant's not like a small, weak, short dude either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying his physical attributes, but he's not Njoku.
You're right.
Njoku's a freak, and he doesn't have the dog like Bryant does. He just ain't the same kind of cat.
And sometimes that just happens. You gotta live with it. You gotta work with it. But one thing I know we both talked about before this was the lack of presence or the lack of balance on the offensive end, because you have arguably the two best running backs in the league. You could, if you look at Kareem Hunt's played in the past and how Nick Chubb plays, and you rush them for a total combined 23 times, but you 41.
Yeah, it was weird to me that they didn't run more power sets. It was really weird to me, and I don't mean like the double tight ends. It was weird to me that they didn't run more sets with two backs in the backfield. Now they played them on the field at the same time a lot. Like they split Chubb out wide, they split Kareem Hunt out wide, I think once or twice as well. But it was weird to me that we didn't see split backs. That was real weird to me. At least we didn't snap the ball with them in split back formation ever. I don't think.
No, I don't think we did either. There might be like one play if that. But.
Yeah, that was real strange to me. When you got two dudes like that, you can line them up next to each other and nobody knows who's getting the ball. You know one of them's getting the ball, but you don't know which one.
Exactly.
You don't know where the production is. There was, to me, a really weird lack of screens. I don't think we ran a screenplay today.
I think we might have ran one early on, but that was
Like, why? When you have two backs like that, why are we not running any screens to the backs?
And especially when this is supposed to be the most back-friendly offense.
Yeah, and even more puzzling. And I know we didn't really want to harp on play calling yet. I know we wanted to get there. I guess we're there now.
Yeah,
I guess we got there organically.
Yeah.
But what's up with the lack of screens to the wide receivers? Like, we conscientiously forced the ball to Odell, right? Well, we literally forced the ball to Odell,
especially in that one sequence where we ended up going downfield, and then we ended up with the 3 and 41. That entire sequence. Granted, penalties galore. They were like, they knew. Oh, no Jarvis. They're going to Odell here. They don't really have any other real playmakers out here, and they keep passing the ball, so they're going to Odell. And that's what caused a few penalties on the Baltimore side of things. And then we got the Jedrick holding call and the sack and everything. You're just like, damn.
Yeah, but it was really weird that we didn't screen to Odell at all. Why didn't we screen to Odell?
Oh no.
You say so, let's put this on a weird Madden scale, because I don't know how else to rate this, right? So you're basically saying that, and this is like something that's like pretty widely accepted. It's pretty widely accepted that Odell is like a 99 speed guy, right?
Yeah, around there.
Pretty widely accepted. I'm not saying for sure, but if you feel like he's that fast, why don't you just get him the ball in space and let him go? What's up with
Freddie did that last year.
Yeah, what's up with the lack of bubble screens? Just put him in a freaking jumbo set, two out to the right, one out to the left, and let Jarvis block for Odell and run a quick bubble screen out there. I mean, why? Why not? Why? Why not? I mean, he makes people miss an open space.
Right.
So give him the ball in open space. It's not like they were playing press all day.
And
They weren't pressing him at the line. They weren't. They didn't do it once. I don't think. I don't think I remember a single time. And I'm sorry to just rant now, but I don't remember a time when I saw Odell get jammed at the line. I don't think I saw that. They were giving him a little bit of space off the line. So
besides that one holding call, I think it was, there was no other time really.
That still wasn't even a jam, though. He was just holding him the whole time.
But my point is, it looked like they tried there, and then when he started separating himself, that's when the hold came into play. I'm just talking, that's really the only time I can think where it was even attempted to jam that time.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you play some teams, right? Like they run up and they just pop your wide receivers right off the bat, right? Like they hit them at the line. Like with a hard push, like they jam them up, try to disrupt the timing and stuff like that right at the line. That didn't really happen. Like they were playing off of him 2, 3, 4 yards. If he's the playmaker you think he is, why are you not tossing him the ball on a bubble screen and just letting Odell be Odell? Make dudes miss, get 20 yards out of a 5-yard throw. Like why? Why aren't we doing that at all? I mean, I realize that the spread them out and go, style of offense isn't really what Kevin Stefanski does, but still, you have to cater your offense to the playmakers that you have. If you have dudes like Jarvis and Odell who are shifty, who make people miss, why no bubble screens?
He did it last year with Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. Sometimes he'd have Stephon go out. It's just like
it's like, I mean, I know that's still not like a core component of the Stefanski offense. He does it, but
But my point is, like, you had the opportunities to do that today.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is he didn't have a defense that was jamming his wide receivers. So why didn't we take advantage of that at all? It boggles my mind that we threw no bubble. And I know that I'm harping on bubble screens, but when you have people who are that fast, and we have some players that are that fast, just get them the ball in space. There was very few drag routes by the wide receivers. You had tight ends run some drags, where they just basically cut across the back of the line of scrimmage, just like across the front of the line of scrimmage by 2 or 3 yards. Just you had some tight ends run that route. Well, why is Odell not running a drag route? As a matter of fact, that's the play that he got like 80 yards and touchdown on one day. It was just a quick drag. It was like a 3-yard completion, literally. And then the yards after catch was like 75 yards or something crazy. Like, and he was injured for that.
Yeah.
He was injured. He was fighting a hip injury, and they still couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
I'm sitting here, and I'm wondering what's going on with someone who was supposed to be a key contributor this offseason. We paid him like he's the best position in the league, or the best player in his position in the league, and that's awesome.
About Hoop? Yeah, Hoop. Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be one of the best pass-catching tight ends, and he threw him twice.
2 catches, by the way.
2 targets.
Yeah, 2 catches. Yeah.
For 15 yards total. Like
what the hell? Throw him the ball. You brought him here to catch the ball. Throw him the ball. Now, maybe he wasn't getting separation. I don't know. I know that the Ravens tight ends linebackers are pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't getting the separation that he needed, but they were playing enough zone that you could. I mean, come on, you could find some soft spots. That's no excuse. I'm not saying they were playing zone all day because they weren't, but they were playing enough zone that you could find some soft spots to complete to your tight ends some. And I mean, it looks like we spread it around to the tight ends. Kadero Hodge got 3 targets, which he looks like a tight end. I don't think he is one technically, but he looks like a tight end.
He's only like 6'1", 6 feet. He's 6'2", 205.
He looks big to me, man. He looks big. Maybe he's just ripped. I don't know. But he looks big.
I mean,
but anyways,
the tight ends combined for 7 targets, and they caught 6 of them.
Yeah. So they were good.
Yeah.
We just didn't throw to them.
The receivers combined for...
And I don't know if that comes down to quarterback play or if that comes down to play calling. I don't know.
I think it's probably a mixture of both because Baker didn't. I mean, granted, he had the time today, but like, it didn't seem like he could find the moment to throw to these guys. Now, granted, that could be coverage because they were playing some tight defense.
Yeah.
But this was an issue that Baker had last year too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe we're downplaying how good the Ravens defense was today. The Ravens defense was really good today.
Yeah,
they were. Harrison, I mean, there was pretty good. Yeah, there was not a lot of room.
All over the place. They definitely didn't miss Earl Thomas.
No, they did not miss Earl Thomas. They knew exactly what they were doing when they cut Earl Thomas. Mm-hmm. They knew what they were doing. They had a plan. I mean, their front office is simply magnificent. Yeah. There's no other word for it. They are incredible. That front office is just they're smarter than everybody else. Yeah. That's just what it is. Is that
they're starting two, and you got to remember they're starting 2 rookie linebackers in Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison. Starting 2 rookie linebackers.
Yeah, but we knew what they were going to get when they got those 2 dudes. Yeah. Those 2 dudes were ballers. We were both screaming. Both of us were screaming for the Browns to draft both of those dudes.
Yeah,
both of us were.
I mean, we knew we weren't going to have a chance at Patrick Queen because he's a first rounder.
Right, but we were talking about trading back in because we had the draft capital in the back rounds, and then we talked about it. We didn't really, but come on.
But then they chose Jordan Phillips, I think, over Malik Harrison. Is Elliott the lineman or is Phillips the lineman?
Phillips.
Right. Then I thought Elliott was the lineman. Phillips is a linebacker.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought
you said Phillips over. Yeah. They chose Phillips over Harrison, and Phillips went out partway through the game. Just the injury bug kept hitting the Browns. Like they're already thin as it is.
Yeah, and that makes you question the strength and conditioning. Yeah. Too. I mean, they had just too many injuries right at the end of camp and also in the game. I mean, in the first game, what did they have today? 3 injuries? Was it something 3?
Like you had Phillips. You had
who went out today?
I know.
Phillips went out today during the game?
Yeah, Phillips went out during the game. You had Jed during the game.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. That might have been it.
Okay, so 2 injuries. Jed and Jacob Phillips. Yeah. And one of them was a knee. And
Jed was leg.
A leg, yeah. Which it may have been a knee. We don't know. We just know it was part of his leg. That's really it.
Apparently, Njoku has a knee injury post game also, but we'll see what happens there. I mean, he was still on the field basically even at the end of the game, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just. But there is one thing we have neglected to talk about, which honestly could have changed the whole dynamic of the game, and that is the kicking of Austin Seibert.
Yeah. Talk about that. I mean, I will, but
I don't want to talk about it either. But we got to be honest. The Browns came in with Cody Parkey in their practice squad, and everybody's like, "Oh, Seibert's job is safe." Wait, why do they have Parkey there? Oh, probably just in case of Corona, and because he's one of their protected practice squad players, so nobody else can sign him.
Yeah, everybody thought that he was a camp leg, including me. I thought he was a camp leg too. I thought he was a camp leg, but they must have had some questions, and those questions got validated today, man. I mean, I hate to say it, but the fact that they were questioning him makes a lot of sense right now. I mean, a lot of sense right now. I mean,
Jim, you're a Green Bay fan. I don't want to hear from you right now.
You can watch, but don't you comment, man. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding.
Vicky Triv, fan since 1964 and the culture of losing since 1999. Sad. Yeah, and it seems like ever since we lost Phil Dawson, the kicker's been a culture of losing. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when we were at Tri C and they decided to keep what was that one kick?
You know what though, man? I refuse. I refuse to even pin even a 100th of this game on kicking, because you know what?
No,
Kicking would have
I'm just
accounted.
saying
I know.
if you hit
Kicking would have
those,
accounted for an additional 4 points though. Like we
yes.
would have still lost 31-10, and that's still a blowout.
My point I'm trying to make is though, if he hits those, momentum shifts a little bit
Yeah, it does.
because now it's like, all right, we're still in this. We got a better chance, and he misses those, and you feel like
Yeah, it's just like the 3rd and 2 catch, 3rd and 2 drop. It's a momentum question. It's it's that's the problem. Is it changes the momentum significantly in a very negative way.
yeah, and that's where it gets tough. And I'm trying to find out I'm trying to remember who that kicker was. Travis Coons. Remember when they chose Travis Coons over Kerry Spear?
Yeah.
And you and I both questioned that. The next season, Travis Coons is gone.
Yep.
But Kerry Spear, who was hitting 50-plus yard field goals and all that, it's gone after training camp. It's just
Yeah. Yeah, we both thought that was weird. I just I don't know what to think about where to go from here. I think that's why the conversation drifted to the draft earlier.
yeah.
Because it's just like, what do you do? I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have hope for the season. I think we'll finish a lot stronger than we started.
Yeah. And
But
granted, I did expect sloppy play with no preseason. I had a buddy who was freaking out because, oh, this game's just so bad. I'm like, they didn't have any real game prep action against any other team. They were playing against each other the entire time.
yeah, but I mean, if you look at if even if you listen to like Baker in the beginning in his post game comments, like he was just like, yeah, I mean, he was like, yeah, I mean, it it's a factor, but not a big one because the starters don't play many of those snaps. One, I mean, you know, uh, they play typically as a rule, and this is a soft rule, but it's a rule that they typically play, one series in the first game. They may play a quarter in the second game, and they may play 3/4 or the first half and a series after in the third game, and then they sit out the fourth game. So really, that still doesn't accumulate to even a full game of practice.
You're right.
It doesn't. Like it comes to
But
like three
my,
quarters of a game that they play. I mean,
my,
I know those matter, but come on, like
my point is the game prep side of things, though.
yeah, the game prep side of things does matter. But what that to me that ends up being an advantage though, because they had the entire camp and everything to prep for one game if they wanted. I mean, they could have spent literally 3 weeks on Ravens if they wanted to. I mean, they obviously didn't. There's they had to spend a lot of that time installing the new offense, which is a continuity issue. But
I gotta laugh because I remember watching the game, and yeah, you have the announcers just, and this is back when it was like, what was it? Like, I want to say when it was 14-6 still. Yeah, the announcers commenting about how Joe Wood's offense looked great, and then right after that is where it went. But it felt so typical Cleveland. You get that compliment, you're feeling good.
yeah, it's just like we were getting complimented on our lack of penalties, and then it was 3rd and 41.
Yep.
I mean, if you were listening to the announcements, that's what happened. I mean, it's crazy. It's so typical, like you said. I mean, it's so typical.
We do have a question here. Why does Baker ask so many or answer so many questions with yes or no? What does that mean? I think it's because Baker's more of a guy who rather just put it out on the field instead of answer the questions. Like he, especially this year, he's been a man of few words where he wants his actions to speak. But so far, his actions haven't been able to back up what he wants them to. Sean?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of frustration there too. I think he is uncommonly frustrated with the losing. I mean, you got to look at it. I mean, this dude has won his whole life. I mean, and he's always had to, get himself off a bench. He won starting roles at two different colleges. One was at Oklahoma, I think one was at Texas Tech. Is that
Yep.
right?
Walked on at Texas Tech, played so well at Texas Tech, then lost his job to Patrick
Injury.
Mahomes injury, and then Patrick Mahomes coming in and transferred to Oklahoma, where he walked on there and ended up being the starter. So, like,
But if you look at it, after he won those jobs, he was overwhelmingly successful.
yeah, he was.
He's never been a loser before. I hate to put it that way, but he's never been a person who's lost a lot of games. And so as soon as you make the dude, you take someone who's not used to losing, and you put him in a situation where he goes 0-16, I'm sorry, what was it? What was his first? No, his first season was not 0-16. It was after.
No, he was 7-9,
right?
To 7-8-1 to 6-10.
Right. Now this is his third season. So the dude is just not used to postseason to post game conferences where he's lost either. I mean, he's not, and I hope he doesn't get used to it, because if he gets used to it, that's it. He's done. And honestly, I think Baker's seat is hotter than the Browns are admitting.
Yeah. Why else would you bring Case Keenum, someone who's in the MVP conversation under this coach?
Yep.
In this system, and put him on a 2-year deal, which, by the way, it's 2-year with it deal. If you decide to move on from Baker and trade him this offseason and draft another quarterback, you have that mentor right there already on the books. So,
yep. And like I said, I mean, to me, if you're moving on from Baker Mayfield, you got to move on to Baker Mayfield for the best quarterback you can get. I thought it was silly that they didn't give Cam Newton a look in the offseason. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they should have gotten him. I'm saying I think it's weird they didn't bring him in and take a look. I know that COVID made bringing a guy in for a look weird, yes, but I think it's real weird they didn't bring him in for a look. I thought that was foolish. I mean, you got a guy who is an MVP, former MVP, still in the prime of his career age-wise.
Went to a Super Bowl. Played at high levels.
Played at an extremely high level. And then the biggest critique of him after that Super Bowl was that he didn't take losing it well, which I don't have a problem with dudes who are not good losers. I don't want good losers on my team. I don't want losers on my team. I'm an abysmal loser personally. Like, and you've seen that just from us gaming together before. I'm an abysmal loser. I don't take it well.
Let's run it back right now and change this.
Let's run it back right now. And I usually crush people after that too.
Yep.
Because I don't take losing well. I don't like my football players to take losing well. So to me, that's actually a good thing with Baker. Going back to the original question of why does he answer yes and no so often? I don't want him to be a good loser. Be pissed off in the post-game interview when you lose. I like it. Give me more. Be a dick. Cool. But you gotta come back and show something next game. You can't sulk and be a jerk in the post-game conference and then fall flat again the next game. You definitely can't do that. That's a non-starter, my guy. You can't be doing that either.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's out.
But I think we just about covered everything today. Unless you can think of anything else.
I got nothing, man. I'm just ready to get to Thursday. I'm ready to put behind it.
Thursday might be a late night, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely. I mean, I don't work on Fridays, so we can go as late as we need to on Thursday. I can. The post game can go 3 hours on Thursday night. I don't care. It won't hurt me.
All right. Well, for everyone,
5 a.m. anyways.
Oh Lord.
So
all right. So for everyone who tuned in, thank you for tuning in. You can catch us again this Thursday after the Browns-Cincinnati Bengals game.
Absolutely.
And let's hope for a win this Thursday. Go
Yeah.
Browns. So signing off.
Guys, you can't lose to the Bengals. You can't lose to the Bengals. Do not lose. Sorry, you can't lose to the Bengals. That's out. The Bengals are terrible. They went 1-15 last year.
Yeah, and before 2-14. 2-14.
Okay. You can't lose to the Bengals. If you lose to the Bengals, I'm declaring the season dead on arrival. It's out. It's a wrap.
Especially when their quarterback only has 89 yards passing. Right now, as of right now, he has 89 yards passing, 4.2 yards per on average, and he's got a rushing touchdown. That's the only touchdown. So and a fumble. Yeah. So
no, you can't lose to the Bengals. That's no.
All right, guys. So signing off, I'm Matt.
Sean.
The first episode of the Dog Check post-game show. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you then.